days outside in the field. I used to deal in Johnson City and Andy.
You're watching Triple F Films. This is Chicken and Drinks with Chize and Doug. I'm Chize.
I'm Doug.
And today we're sitting here with Kinya Middleton.
You can count on Kinya Middleton to listen, be fully engaged, and responsive to your needs. Kinya comes from humble beginnings and knows the work will be hard at times, but she has never been afraid of hard work. Kinya is asking for your support and your vote. There is no one better to represent the 2nd District. Vote Kinya Middleton for Binghamton City Council in the 2nd District. This ad was paid for and produced by the friends and family of Kinya Middleton.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, no problem. So, I'll be honest with you. I'm not really like a politics guy. I don't really know too much about running for any kind of offices. But I do have some questions.
Sure, I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, first off, are you from Binghamton?
Well, originally I'm from Brooklyn, and I've been back and forth, and the last 7 years I've been back in Binghamton.
Okay. Nice.
What grounded you here? What made you stay here?
My family's here, and in Brooklyn I had a really good job, but I have two daughters, so I wanted to be able to see them every day. I couldn't see them every day in Brooklyn because it's hard. You're working, things are more expensive, so you got to grind a little harder, and it's different. So I wanted to be able to work and then see them every day, pick them up from school. I didn't really want like a relative to kind of raise them. I wanted to be in their business, kind of. So more importantly, so that's one of the reasons why I moved here.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Before we jump into what got you into politics?
It's so funny because I've worked on campaigns. I actually just worked on Leah Webb's Senate campaign. We are very close.
Shout out to Leah Webb.
A shout out to Leah Webb, yeah. So we're very, very close. And so I worked on her campaign, and I've worked on other campaigns. And I guess it was just time. Sometimes you're like, all right, I don't want to do this. They asked me for a long time, and I'm like, no, I'm busy. I have a full-time job that kind of requires a lot of me. So, I was like, no, but it's time. You know when your time is ready.
So can you kind of explain what the office that you are running for?
Sure. So I'm running for city council for Binghamton in the 2nd District. It's on the west side. It's I'm trying to think. It's almost at Johnson City, the border of Johnson City, and I think it stops at the middle of Rec Park, or kind of on Main Street, where McDonald's is, kind of that. Okay. That's kind of the cutoff of it. So it's all of those districts, and I would be representing that district. Each district, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's 7, and each district has a representative, and then there's the mayor. Okay. So the mayor is the one who's in charge of the whole of Binghamton, and then you represent your district, but you represent Binghamton also. Right. So that's what that is.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know they broke. Yeah,
they break it down into districts, and then every year. So that's why it's different, because this year they redid the maps. So sometimes it would be you're close here, so my district got an extra block or so. So sometimes you'll lose a district, sometimes you'll gain. It just depends on how they redistrict it. So they kind of redistrict in parties, the Republican Party, Democratic Party. They kind of go around and do the redistricting from there. So, yeah.
Very interesting.
So, is there certain things that you want to accomplish as a representative?
Representative, definitely. One of the things that I'm really passionate about is making sure that we have youth have access to different things. We need to make sure that we're raising our kids up the right way. I have two, like I said, I have 2 daughters. I want them to have access to everything, and that's one of the reasons why I started out being a PTA mom, then being the PTA president for my daughter's elementary school, just so that way I can see exactly what's going on in there and how people treat your children, and how they're learning. So I think that I think we definitely need youth services. We need affordable housing because it's impossible for people to find an apartment.
It is.
And even if not, just owning a home. I'm a homeowner, but it's hard. Thank you. But it's hard to find. It's hard to just find a home, just to get access to like just homes in general, just all the information. But there's information out there, and there's free money. But we have to be able to get to know that, right? We got to make sure that we have access to those things. So that's just
Definitely
that.
not taught on how to get access to that at all.
We need literally like what I pay in mortgage is cheaper than what I would pay for renting, and it's mine too, right?
Right.
So yeah. That's
Yeah,
it.
I learned that myself over
Yeah.
the years. Like
Yes.
owning your own house.
I'm telling you, yeah. I mean, it has its ups and downs, but owning is,
Yeah.
Everything in life has its ups and
ups and downs, but definitely, most stuff.
What is one of your what's one of your main goals that you want to accomplish?
Like I said, a youth center.
Like the Boys and Girls Clubs, how they used to be.
Yeah, but you know
active?
what? See, the Boys and Girls Club, they don't let every child come. Like you have to have money, or they don't have enough space to hold everybody. There should be like a center where it's inclusive for everyone. Their social, economic, emotional, educational needs.
Is there
So,
funding for that?
there is. So another thing, I sit on the city board. It's called CDAC, which money comes in from HUD. Like every city gets a certain pot of money. May it be like $2,000, $3,000. They get this money. So I sit on a board, and when people come to the board, they say, "Okay, this is my program, and this is what I plan to do, and this money will help my program, and it'll help a certain demographic of people." So there's money. You just have to come and propose what you would want to do with it, and then fight for what you believe in too. There's a lot of money out there, and we need to take advantage of it.
So can things be? I hear a lot of times like that things can just be voted on. If you want things, you can just vote on them. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Is it? Does it work like that? Like if you're like, hey, we want to build a youth center in this community, can you like propose it and then make it have a vote for it?
So that's the thing. That's what's important about local government and city council, because you have to have people who represent your needs on there, right? So you can't have someone who is not representing what you stand for, right? So if you go to your representative and you're like, listen, this is what I want done, then they should be on point with what you want done, more of the needs. And even though I'm running for the 2nd district, I want to represent all of Binghamton because we really need help. There's a poverty, there's a poverty rate in Binghamton that is very high.
I agree.
So it's not it's not only voting. You have to make sure that you put the proper people in place that believe in what you believe in, and then once you put them in there, you have to make sure that they're accountable, right? Because we could just put anybody in there, but you have to make sure that they are doing the right thing.
So you've been here for a little while, and you've probably seen in that short amount of time, you've probably seen a lot of changes.
Yes.
So what do you think is like one of the most pressing issues that not just your district but the whole city has?
Housing, yeah. It's a lot of homeless people, and that's the thing. People think that like a homeless person is just a look, but it isn't. It's just, anybody at any moment our lives can change. Like we can be good and great. I can have this house, and then in the next moment my life can change. So I think that's housing is definitely an issue. Like we have a stereotype of how someone looks that's homeless, but that's not the case.
Right. So question, like what do you think can be done to fix the housing crisis in Binghamton? Because it's been like that for a long time.
And it's getting worse. There's a lot of student housing. I know people, they prefer student housing over just renting to a family.
Absolutely.
And that's unfortunate because they're only here for a certain amount of time. So and the families need a home forever.
Right.
So we need to build more affordable housing, just maybe an incentive for landlords for something to take them in, like, hey, if you rent to this family, we'll give you a certain amount of money for, for renting to a family rather than renting to a student.
That makes sense because there's other programs that have incentives like that.
Yeah, like something like that, because and then there's like a stigmatism of like families. Even when I was in New York City and I was looking for an apartment, they ask you all these questions like, you have kids? And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Right. Like I have a child, or like, what does it have to do with anything? The rent is still going to be paid or whatever.
Right.
But that's a lot of things there. But yeah, sorry, I'll talk for
No, that's what we're here for. You're giving us the information that
yeah.
we don't have, so that we can give it to the people
Yes,
who watch
thank you.
it. 'Cause,
Thank you.
Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't educated in the things
Yes.
that in this area.
Yes.
I mean, we
you know what
probably should be.
I noticed though, I don't see a lot of us in these roles, and it makes me sad because like we have the power, especially here in Binghamton. Binghamton is very democratic. It's a very democratic city, but we don't go out and vote. So then it's like keeping us stuck in those policies that are there.
Only example I have of that is somebody who grew up in Binghamton. Is voting was never thrown in my face until my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
That was the only time they brought it up. When we applied for schools and we applied for financial aid, we had to check the box for voting to even be able to get financial aid. That was the first time I heard of voting.
Yeah.
No one put me on after. Probably somebody said something about it, but it was never brought to my attention until that moment, like what voting is. And then as I went through college, I learned
what it is. Yeah.
But I guess that was my own experience.
Yeah, but I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot of people. My family, both of my grandmothers were very active in the community and Brooklyn until like the day they died. So those things are like kind of brought up in me. Like my grandmother was out there, civil rights. So those things are kind of instilled in me. Like you better vote, or take care of each other, because even though you're good, if you're good, that's good. But if your community is not good, then you're not good.
How do we find the information on about voting? Because a lot of times, even when you learned in high school about voting, you probably learned about the presidential voting, correct?
Yeah.
So throughout the years, I've learned that you can vote for this and this and this. There's always votes going on.
Yeah,
Definitely every year.
So how do you think that information could be spread more? Because
I don't, you know what? I don't even know. I might have to come back to you on that. I have to think about that. But I do think we do need to broadcast that more to our people. Like we need to we really need to get that out there.
Because I think it's just a lot of it's just not knowing either.
Yeah.
And
they don't know. Yeah.
And or what we're voting for.
Yes, definitely.
'Cause we don't know. They don't teach us that, if you want these changes to happen, then you have to go to your local council.
Yeah.
If you want these things to change, then you got to go to this council. Or
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Because a lot of people, even now, a lot of people vote just in the presidential election, which everyone's going to vote because you're like, I'm voting for president. But
they publicize it.
Yeah, they do. And we have to figure out a way to do that. But I think a lot of the times it's just a waste of money. People probably feel like it's a waste of money to really go out in the local elections. But it's really important that we get involved in our local elections.
Definitely, I'm gonna vote.
Yes, you better.
I am. I'm not gonna just have him come up here. And
you should.
And I like what you stand for.
Thank you.
So election wise, what's your strategy? What's your campaign strategy?
To win, but to win, yes. But no, more importantly, I just want to reach out to the people in my district. My main job is I am the general manager for the Greater Good grocery store. Okay. So it's on the north side of Binghamton. And on the north side of Binghamton, there hasn't been a grocery store in about 25 years. So basically, we're just, every day I'm just making sure that people have access to food, because things are very expensive, and sometimes people only get a certain amount of money for the month, and that doesn't always cover it. So we do like a free produce day once a month where anybody can come and just get a free bag of produce. We do something where they can extend, if they receive EBT benefits, we do something where they can extend that. So that's my everyday job. It's just, so it's not even work, it's just every day, just trying to be the best person I can be. But just making sure that I represent the second district, but also all of Binghamton.
Yeah. West Side is you got me thinking now.
Yeah.
West Side is probably where all the buses flow. How do you feel about the transportation and buses and
I think
community being engaged with them?
Are you talking about this public transportation?
Yes.
I think they can do better. Mm-hmm. I think definitely they can do better, but that also goes with funding too. I guess they would have to get the proper funding to get that to make sure that that can happen. Yeah.
And being that those buses run through the district that you're representing, do you have a say so in that department? How does that work?
That's more of a county thing. It's a city, but also all those things connect. So yeah, they all connect. Like city, county, everything is all connected. Federal, so all those things are definitely all connected. So definitely,
you would be able to bring that to somebody. Like,
yeah, if someone came to, like, if they came with something that they needed, like a legislation or something, I would try my best to definitely help that. I mean, I think one of the things and one of the reasons why I'm running is because you have to make sure that people are listening. That you're listening to people to know what they want, because none of us know everything.
Right. So I have a question.
Sure.
Can anybody vote?
Yes. So I don't quote me on this, because I know that they switched it around, that even if you are a felon, I think you can. I'm not sure what the felon.
Do you have to live in that district to vote?
So yeah. So it's the district for that person, but every district has someone that's running in that district in Binghamton.
Okay, understood.
So yeah, and so it doesn't matter what district you live in. If that's it'll be on your voting card. So like your address is attached to who you'll be running for. I can't even. I mean, who's running for that.
And where is voting for your district?
So voting, I think it's at St. Thomas on Highland Avenue. I think that it's going to be there, or it's going to be on Main Street somewhere. Okay. I'm not sure. They switch it around, the Board of Elections, when it comes close. But they do have early voting, and that's at the library in Binghamton, downtown. Okay. So yeah, they start early.
Make sure you guys go vote.
Please, thank you.
Vote.
Yes, vote.
You kind of like answered a lot of our questions without us even being able to ask.
Oh, I think that's good.
Well, that's a great thing.
Oh, good. Yeah.
These are very informative.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, that's good. But it's more, we really need to vote, like really be active in your community, volunteer, help children, like public service is definitely where it's at. It's not reward. You're not going to make a bunch of money doing this. This is not, money. It's not a money thing, but just making sure that
it's a life thing.
It's a life thing, right? Mm-hmm. But making sure that everybody's okay, your kids and your grandchildren and things like that. And then you never know who you may meet and who, what you may get access to.
Right, absolutely.
How does your district, how's the people in your district able to reach out to you to speak about the issues?
Oh, well, so I have my phone number. They can always call my number. It'll probably change sometime in between there, but I have a Facebook page. Okay. So it's Kinya Middleton for Binghamton City Council. Or is it City Council? It's a City Council. Binghamton City Council. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, and you can contact me on that page if you have any questions, any concerns, anything you'd like to see in the 2nd District or in Binghamton. I'm definitely open to that.
How would you like?
That's dope. So it's like direct contact.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
that's the way. I like direct contact.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'd rather it be like that.
Yes.
I'm gonna call them, leave a message. So, but how would you weigh out, like, I don't want to say complaints, but how would you weigh everybody's concerns out?
I mean, I think every concern is valid. You have to just figure it out. And if you don't know it, that's why there's other people there that can help you and guide you along the way to get to where you need to be.
So you have a pretty good team.
Yeah, we're getting there. Okay. We're getting there.
It's always good to have a good team.
Yeah,
it's the best.
It's good. We're getting there.
So when you get elected, how long are you in?
It's a 4-year term.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's a 4-year term, and then so you can only hold the city council seat for 8 years, just like a mayor, only 8 years. So if I wanted to run again, it would be another 4-year term. So it's a 4-year term.
I think that's cool. I think it's dope that you're running.
Thank you.
I think it's dope that you have ideas.
Thank you. And if you have ideas too, let me know.
I mean, my ideas seem to be the same as yours. I think that housing is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, right?
I think that I don't know too much about the job market because I own a business, but from what I hear, there could probably be more I don't know, more money flowing through.
Definitely.
Because like you said, everything's expensive.
It's so expensive.
Now, and if people aren't making them, being able to make enough money to live, then that I think a lot of issues come from that because things fall apart.
They do.
And then when things fall apart, it's hard to rebuild it back up.
Definitely. Or and just the mindset of to get back to that rebuild set too is really hard too. Definitely, most definitely.
I think those are really my only things. I mean, I've lived here for quite some time.
Yeah.
And just throughout the years, I've just seen the housing market decline. That used to be the reason people come here.
Definitely, because it's cheap to live, right?
It was,
but now it's hard. Yeah, but now it's hard to find to find an apartment. It's still better than other places, but it's still hard to get a decent place.
Yeah.
But how does it work? Like, I grew up in Binghamton. I grew up downtown Binghamton, and I've seen people from literally people living in houses, families coming in and out of houses, to only students coming in and out of these houses. How do we reverse that? How do we really like get people to live in these houses? Like how we mentioned before, but how do we actively do it as a community to have these landlords to stop like shunning the people who live here? It's like, because it feels like they're moving a lot of people out of the
displacing
area,
them.
and then in the summertime this whole area is dead. And then it's like,
what is the incentive behind them prioritizing the college students?
right,
Because there's got to be some kind of incentive,
Money.
you know. But are they overcharging college students for the same apartments that they would, you know?
I mean, if you can rent
Should be a fair
if you can
housing
rent a
market
bedroom
act.
for $950, one bedroom, rather than renting the whole house, of course, who's gonna do that? You're gonna go with renting out the bedroom for $950.
Oh, so they're breaking them down.
Yeah. That's
each
that's
room
They're
charging
turning houses into breakdown.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
they're charging mortgage for each room.
Yeah, from each room. Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
See, I thought they were just like taking the same places that we could live in and like just putting students there. I didn't know that they was.
No,
They
they're
were
charging
breaking whole houses down and charging them per room.
Per
Oh, I didn't
room.
know that.
Yeah. Some of the landlords like alter the houses, put different walls up, and just make it slightly different, but it's still one house,
One
bunch of
house,
rooms. They'll take a living room and cut it up into 4 rooms.
So what have you an idea on how to fix something like that when a guy is making $10,000 off of an apartment, a house a month, as opposed to $1,200?
I do, but I'll tell you off camera. I'll tell you off.
Okay.
I do. I'll tell you some stuff.
Okay. Cool.
Real politics.
No, because I mean, like that, you know, I started looking at it like that. It's like,
No, I'll put you onto something off camera.
okay, cool. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do you have a small gem to drop for us?
We can do better. Like, I just think we can do better. That's just my slogan. Like, we can do better. We have to make sure that we can do better, and you know, make sure we service the people that in our area, and just do better. We all can do better. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
Anytime. We got to
Thank
bring
you.
you back up after you win.
Yes, party. We're gonna party, right?
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
true.
So I would say, remind them of all your information, where to find you,
Yes, please.
everything.
Okay. First, I don't know if I should give out. I'm not giving out my number.
Yeah,
don't give out
I'm not
my
giving
number.
out my
We'll
I'm not giving
post
out my-
your-
Oh
we'll
yeah,
get
no, but no,
What's
you
your
can.
number and social after.
Oh yeah, true.
Give them regular.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. You want to pay the credit card bill? Okay, true. Okay, so yeah. So you could reach me. You could reach me on Kinya Middleton at Binghamton City Council. For Binghamton City Council on Facebook. And I think I have an Instagram. What is that? What is my Instagram?
Kenya for Bing Dis 2.
Kenya for Bing District 2. I think.
It doesn't work like that. It goes like this.
And I think I have a Twitter too. I have a Twitter.
Same.
It's the same thing for Twitter. Kinya for Bing District 2.
June 10th?
Oh yeah, I have something coming up. June 10th. It's gonna be a meet. Thank you. Look at her. June 10th. I have a meet and greet.
Shout out to you.
Thank you,
you,
girl.
management.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a meet and greet June 10th. What's the address for that?
74 Highland.
74 Highland. It's in the 2nd District of Binghamton. It's in the 2nd District of Binghamton. Please come out, meet me, talk to me. There's gonna be some good food. You know, we can cook a little bit.
What kind?
You gotta come. You gotta come. There's gonna be some food, free food. But most definitely come talk to me.
Take the Chize and Doug show on the road.
Yeah, true.
Ooh.
Yes, come talk to me. With any questions, comments, or concerns that you may have, I'd love to meet you. So that's it.
Thanks for watching Triple FM. Chize and Doug Show.
When I was outside in the field, I used to deal in Johnson City and Andy. I put on